$30 wireless PC controller from 8BitDo. Is it too late to the game? This is their latest edition of game controllers, a little brother with major components removed from the big brother 8BitDo Ultimate, which made me wonder, why C, why not A, B, or XXX Naruto 98 XXX? On both controllers, there is little difference between both on the outside. With the removal of many of original functions, it goes much cheaper. Okay, I know that some people may be still away from basic plug-and-play third-party controllers, since you might just get any other controllers at this price range, because they usually have more functions. However, there is one thing other cheap controllers at this price point didn't manage to deliver. It's the inside. And it also has pastel color, which I'm a sucker. This controller probably has the simplest unboxing ever. Inside the box, you get a controller inside a foam cover, a dongle, a manual, a very nice looking USB-C cable. You can shake this controller and you can hear that it's just a box and a controller. The joystick is literally the same size with all the 8BitDo Ultimate. It's not Hall Sensor Joystick, and the joystick was made by Case Silver, which I'm not really a fan. The reason is almost all Case Silver joystick has this small wiggle, which I don't understand what's there. The traditional joystick like this has few wiggles, but those on Hall Sensor has more. It's not totally trash, but in general it doesn't feel as good as Fabrionian or else. It's just a personal experience, might be different with you. Maybe I'm too picky, but their Hall Sensor joystick all wiggle, and once you realize it's there, it just stuck in your brain. Security test shows a joystick classic mapping. This is fine. Almost identical to 8BitDo Ultimate by 2% different. One thing I noticed immediately when using this is their ABXY buttons. These buttons are stiffer than 8BitDo Ultimate. If you ever touch other game controller, a good one, you realize this. ABXY buttons do feel slower than other regular buttons. This will take years before it lost the elasticity and become lighter. I used it on Yoimiya. Button smashing feels slower and harder. It feels an upgrade if you already have a controller with bad buttons, but when you already use much better buttons, this will be still a personal preference. It also has Windows layout just like their 2.4 GHz model. The trigger is conductive rubber type. You can see this trigger in my dismantling video of 8BitDo Ultimate. It's not all bad, but this trigger type can go bad after a few years of heavy beatings, and it also slightly stiffer than 8BitDo Ultimate. If you use the input for Linux, these triggers become a switch. The pad also the same, stiffer than Ultimate controller. Basically, every single silicon part of this controller is stiffer. I don't know what the hell this guy smoke. Everything is harder. The silicon part does make it will last longer on electricity, but it partially removes the comfort, which when you use for extended time can be a deal breaker. It has turbo buttons, which recently I have been using it for Android games. A function somehow become useful for me after 30 years of living. It doesn't have profile system, which one of the major stuff that I use in controller, and it also missing macro buttons. It also doesn't work with their 8BitDo Ultimate software, so no customization there. The haptic feedback is decent despite you cannot change the strength. It has the same strength as Ultimate controller at full strength. Also, you can turn it off. The controller also don't has gyro, so if some of you want gyro aiming, skip this controller. The build quality is, frankly speaking, very good, despite $30. It has the same build quality as Ultimate controller or any 8BitDo in general. Even the dongle looks the same with 8BitDo Ultimate. 2.4 GHz and wired connection only, no Bluetooth. On the back there is 4 screws, which when compared to 8BitDo Ultimate, those are hidden under the grid cover. You do need TC stock screwdriver to open this. It also has the best repairability design than any other third-party controllers, because almost all other controllers require long screw bit, which can be hard to find. Battery is 480 mAh, and 8BitDo claim it can last 25 hours, which I initially feel sus. In a game with barely any haptic feedback, it survived 24 hours on Genshin, on December, and a few Android games, and it's still beating. In a game heavy with vibration, you can expect a lot less. This is a lot more than 8BitDo Ultimate since I can get about 16 hours usage on the same games. This long usage time achievable due to its speed. The performance is something that this controller actually excels than the competitors. Wireless performance is average 100Hz, which is very common at this price point. It's actually a statement from 8BitDo when they claim it has low latency. I'm sorry 8BitDo, 100Hz is not low latency. But when we look at accuracy, this controller plays a lot better than most of the competitors. Even 8BitDo Ultimate, which runs at 200Hz, can compete with this controller. Low poly rate does give us more battery life, which proven by 25 hours usage. On wired performance, this controller beat 8BitDo Ultimate by running it at 250Hz. Compared to other controllers, the only better option is DualShock 4, which only obtainable from second-hand market. Also updated the database to include this controller. If you want to know the fastest controller in the market right now, check this video. We'll talk in details about controller play rate and their ranking. This is a very basic controller. It does say it works with Windows, Android and Raspberry Pi. I tested this with Android on wired mode. It doesn't get detected by my Xiaomi phone nor in-game automatically. You need to press Home plus B for a few seconds, then it will connect via the input. While Home plus X is for its input, the input that was used on Windows PC. They also don't provide you with attachment to USB-C, so you need to prepare your own cable. I tried on Switch, it does not work, but interestingly, it does actually connect to the dongle, which means as long as there is power on this dongle, this controller will connect. And it also has this tiny light when it's powered on. Cute. Compared to others Ultimate controller, this one does officially support Linux or Raspberry Pi. This makes it probably a great budget option for Steam Deck and Linux. You get two color options, which is pastel green and pastel purple. You also can get the wired version for $20 with the same color. Just to mention, if you buy from AliExpress, you must use the voucher, else you are paying $5 more than the usual price. For conclusion, 8BitDo made a budget-friendly controller with cute color selections, repair-friendly design, exceptional performance than the competitors, compatible with Windows, Android and Raspberry Pi, and decent build quality. What you're missing is Hall Sensor Joystick, 2 buttons, profile system, smaller battery, and a stiffer Yoimiya. That's it for this video. What do you think about this controller? Is it too late to the game? In fact, why should anyone get this? Comment down below and remember to subscribe. Or not. A like is fine too. Help me grind the YouTube algorithm. Okay, bye.